Yeah, we grew up, but nobody warned us. Life moves fast when the world keeps turning. Kids in the backseat, parents getting older. Still leaning on my brothers when the weight gets colder. Whoa, we're all just trying to make it through. Whoa, love you, pal, I got you. Whoa, we're all just trying to make it through. Love you, pal, I got you.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Love You Pal podcast.
What up,
What's up,
everybody?
guys?
What's going on, everybody?
That's an ode to Jim Nance because we're talking about golf this week. I wanted to bring a little Jim Nance in. And if you don't know the story of Hello Friends, I would suggest that you go and you look it up because learning that story this year was huge and it was very cool. After losing Dad, it was very cool to hear that story. But yeah, welcome to episode 5 of the Love You Pal podcast. Sean, Jay, Mike here with you to talk about the sandwich generation. Tonight we're going to relate the sandwich generation to golf. One of the things that is very near and dear to our hearts and was near and dear to our dad's heart. One of the biggest things in his life. So we're going to talk about our relationship with golf, his relationship with golf, and the life lessons that he taught us through golf, which I'm really excited about. And the reason we're talking about golf this week, it's the Open Championship. So the final round is today because this is dropping on Sunday. It's today. So if you're listening to this early in the morning, make sure you get that golf on the TV and watch the guys spin around the second 9 and see who ends up a major champion.
It's best golf tournament because you get to watch it in the morning.
It is great. I do like it because when I'm at work, if I catch a run late, I can just go back and turn it on, not go back to sleep. It's a real win. So recapping last week, talking about independence. Hopefully you all enjoyed the independence struggle, kind of the tug of war of independence, and we're still looking for feedback, right? So give us your feedback. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know your struggles so that we can bring those to you in further episodes. What do you guys got? Anything before we dive into the golf?
So independence, just to recap last week, for those parents, like, we're going to be real. So right after our episode dropped last week, I had to yank some independence from one of my kids. He decided to go fishing. As you can guess, it's probably Aiden. And left his bike at the park, went to another friend's house that he wasn't at, watched, died, everything. So he's currently sitting in minimal independence. So like I said, real talk, he went from full independence to minimal independence and is learning how to work his way back. So it's real. It happens. For those of you that might lose your kid out there, I lost mine for an hour and found him.
Your nose against the wall for a week.
Yeah. The old
No, I just took his bike.
Then Jay, you're on vacation, so
Yes, I don't know if you can tell from the redness of my face, but someone may have forgot to put sunscreen on the first day, and we're a little crispy.
make that decision every once in a while.
Yeah, it was a poor choice. I had to spend yesterday out of the
You think he
sun.
would've
Got
learned.
back to the beach today. Got a few more days, which is good. Went with the swim shirt, which is always a smart move. I just went sand swim shirt the first day, and it was a bad move. But yeah,
you get a nice base.
It's a nice sear. It's like a reverse sear, like Ruth Chris does. Being in the oven afterwards. But yeah, we're surviving. Having fun down at the beach with the kids. Kids are swimming, having a great time. Playing games. We played Risk until like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. It was a blast.
Risk.
Great game. First time I ever played it. Loved playing the bad guy, ruining everybody else's plan. I was really good at it. So
It's kind of like when you play the banker at Monopoly.
no, that's why I just take extra money for me.
every once in a while. Yeah, embezzlement.
So you got to take that $500.
All right, so jumping into golf here. What is your guys' first memory of golf in general? Right, doesn't have to be with dad. Just what is your first memory of golf?
Being hushed as we watch the Sunday final round, as the guys are on the green putting by dad on TV. Weren't allowed to talk.
That's a good one. I forgot about
They're
that.
putting. Everyone quiet. They're putting. And then like
Really,
we were
really, he was asleep.
and that was when he was asleep. But yeah, it was one of the first memories, and I tried it on my kids, and they're like, "Dad, it's the TV." Like, but yeah, that's definitely one of my first ones. And then another one is just shagging balls in the front yard with the cutoff clubs.
Mine is Massanutten putting green. So learning how to putt on an actual putting green with dad. I mean, there's probably mini golf memories deep in there, but yeah, putting green at Massanutten when we're down there, and late night after we eat, bring the putters, and that putting green that sat right next to that restaurant. I forget what restaurant, but
It's changed
Yeah.
names a bunch of times. Campfire Grill now. I honestly I think it's just dad watching golf on Saturdays and Sundays. That's kind of what I remember early. I mean, I remember going to the club and playing a little bit, but my truly first kind of memories of golf were one, watching golf on weekends with him, and then when he used to go to work, but instead of going to work, he'd go play. So then he would come home and, oh, I was playing golf today. I'm like, oh, cool. What made you guys love the game? Because just because dad loved it doesn't mean that we all needed to love it, right? So what made you love the game of golf?
I don't know. I think
Go
at
ahead,
first
Jay.
for me, it's like that independence. Like you get to go out there on your own sometimes and have that independence of going out there and having that time alone to think and kind of be with yourself is a big part of it for me. And like you have your thoughts and your game, and that's it. I mean, another part is like, is your first foray into driving, and who doesn't love to drive a golf cart? I mean, it's awesome. Who doesn't? Like, I love driving golf carts now. I'm 41 years old, but I think that it's just the best way to put it is one of the hardest games in the world to play, where you're taking a small ball and trying to hit it into a hole hundreds of yards down the fairway, and you have to be that exact to be able to do it. And it's just there's something about like once you have that first par or that first bogey, even um, the success and the euphoria you feel for it is just something that you can't change. You put a 100-yard shot 2 feet away from the pin. It's. I mean, I still get excited when I do.
So for me, I mean, I kind of along the same lines as you, Jay. It's a very hard game, and it doesn't matter how good you are, you're gonna have bad days. Um, but if you put the work in, you get rewarded. At some point, you get rewarded for your hard work. Um, and for me, it was, being out in the course, especially, it was mainly my love really developed when I was in high school and I started playing competitive and getting rewarded. It wasn't just a recreational sport for me. It was my sport. Um, and going out and spending hours chipping, putting, hitting balls. And then, I remember getting my first eagle on number 6 at Peace Pipe, chipping in, and there's Pat Hill in the background, Coors Light in his hand, watching from the putting green. And, seeing that and feeling, like you said, that euphoria, it's, how hard the game is, and you put in the work, and eventually you're rewarded. But it's a true test to patience. And that's where, like, for me, being out there, being, playing against myself. You're not playing against somebody else. You're playing against your own struggles, your own mental game. And it really helped me especially I would say through middle school into high school when I started playing a lot more. Like I said, that's where my love truly developed. It really helped me navigate life, and that's kind of why we're talking about it today. But it helped me navigate life with understanding that hard work and dedication. You get rewarded for. So that's kind of where my love developed.
So it's going to sound very cliche. Why I love golf. I love golf because it was a connection with dad. I love the game. I love playing, but for me, it's a lot more social than it is about score. And it took a long time for me to get here. It took a very long time for me to get here. I used to get very frustrated and used to want to play perfectly. But for me now, and even probably in the past 15 years, it's about connection and it's about spending time with people that I truly care about. Because the guys that I play golf with, I don't just play with anyone. I'm very selective. And it's not because I care if you're really good at golf or not. I care that I want to spend 4 hours with you and have conversations with you and sometimes have tough conversations with you in a golf course. So the social aspect is why I truly love the game now because, you know, my two very, very, very good friends, we play golf very regularly, as regular as I can. But it's just getting out with the boys. And that's what we say. We got to get the boys together. We got to get out and we got to play. And having that connection with them, but also having the connection with dad and being able to call dad on a Sunday and be like, hey, are you watching this round? Like, what a round this guy's putting up, or what a shot. Did you see that? And I knew that he was going to be watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that that conversation was going to lead to a 30-minute conversation about everything. And the trips that we went on, all that stuff just made it even better. So that social aspect and just the connection that golf has in not just, my life, not just your guys' lives and our family's life, but I think in everyone's life is if you learn golf from your parents, you have a genuine connection with them through the game, and that connection lasts a lifetime.
Absolutely. And one of the things that, I want to touch on with that is, that social aspect. That was an immediate connection that like Aiden, I have a little bit different experience, you know, post being a kid, with dad, is watching his interactions with Aiden, talking about tournaments, talking about games. That was Aiden's first phone call after every competitive tournament he played in was to dad, talking about hole by hole, shot by shot, what he played, how he played, and seeing that connection. And, it truly was it, like you said, Sean, it was a genuine connection with him. Um, and honestly, that continued my love for the game outside of just playing. Um, because I got to watch Aiden have those conversations. I got to watch him tell dad about, his experience, the videos I make of Aiden's swing progression, you know, seeing dad light up in the hospital, as a motivation to, I'm going to play with you. I'm going to play with you. Um, that it truly has that connection. So I 100% agree with you. And I think now that is my reason to still love the game, no matter how bad I play, is that connection that it has truly with dad and, family and close friends to lead to tough conversations. So yeah.
I mean, I think like my connection with dad was definitely different when it came to the golf course. Like we were always just goofing, like stupid shit we would do. I mean, we were, you like, we talk about like the stresses of golf and you're like, you don't hit that perfect shot. And like, you always remember that not perfect shot. The way I play golf is I don't give a shit what happens. Like I'm out here to have fun. I don't care what I score. I've never cared what I score. I'm I don't even know how good I am, to be totally honest with you, because 90% of the time I don't keep score. I'm not worried about it. If I see a 50-yard putt off the green, then I'm like, why not? Let's do it. Just do it. I'm not. I'm there to have fun, goof off, and listen to tunes and have some beers with my buddies. And that's like that. I've always played the social aspect. Yes, I play pretty well. I mean, I'm not shanking them off into the woods every time. I play pretty well, but I'm not there to not there to compete. I'm there to have fun. And dad and I always had a blast when we would ride around the cart. And like, yeah, we had those times where it was like those life lessons, those conversations, and dad was always looking out for us, and would always that was a great place for him to bring it up because it was just the two of us. There was nobody else in earshot most of the time. So if there's something that he had to talk to us about,
Hey,
that was
Abby,
the perfect time. So
can you go tell Aiden to stop
um
yelling?
so yeah, it was definitely a different thing, and like I loved playing with you two and dad because you two knuckleheads were always getting so angry about golf, and I always just didn't care. It was so much fun for me to watch you two get so mad, and I'm like 100 yards out, just put it at 10 feet from the pin, don't care, and you're like, you guys would get so mad, but that's the growing up that this game teaches you is like, you have to learn to let things go, and you can't dwell on the bad shots because it's gonna affect the rest of the shots. So,
Yeah, learned that the hard way all the time.
I have a
I
big
think
boy I like to say I have a big boy job, so I don't have to look for golf balls. And I
yeah.
have a big boy job again.
But yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things, like learning from dad on the golf course, is that you very rarely saw him get frustrated. He truly went out there to enjoy the game. And I think all of the things that we've just talked about, he definitely, he obviously instilled in us. And those are all of the aspects that he loved about golf. He loved to go to the club. He loved to hang out with his boys. He would go out 2, 3 times a week. They would play skins, they would play matches, but it was truly just about getting out of the house, going over to Peace Pipe, playing with the guys, having a couple Coors Lights, and then coming home.
Yeah,
But at that
100%.
point, I feel like when he was on the golf course, he was free. He was free of
Mhm.
everything.
He didn't have
And
anything else to worry about.
no, and it was the
Worried
happiest
about
that
shot by shot.
like the happiest that you would see him other than being with his grandkids was on the golf course.
Well,
Because he was like, all right, let's go.
and he truly was able to disconnect because you couldn't get a hold of him then.
Yeah, because there wasn't even a cell phone
There was no
service
cell
at Peace
phones.
Pipe.
Yeah, no cell phone and there was no self-service at Peace Pipe.
You had to call the bar.
Yep. And with Richie there, he went out and played 1 and 2 again. Who knows, probably
$20.
sitting there.
$20 could be anywhere.
$20 is $20. But I really think it's cool to see the what we just talked about, right? And like what our connection is and kind of where we are now based on how dad played the game. So I think it's super cool to see that. And that we each have different perspectives, right? Nobody had the same answer. So,
Well, I think going back to dad being on the golf course for work, like one of my favorite stories that I tell about my playing golf was my senior year of college. We had our capstone, and Professor Earhart, rest his soul, great dude, awesome professor. It was business management, and me and my buddy decided on Wednesday we weren't going to class. We were going to go play golf because it was a gorgeous spring day. So we went out and played golf, came into class the next day, and he goes, "Where were you guys?" We were like, we were practicing our sales pitches." He goes, "What?" We looked at him, we were like, "We played golf. We're practicing our sales pitches." He goes, "It's a solid answer. Excused absence." And I was like, "You're the man. You're the man, Terry.
yeah,
Thanks."
Terry was a good dude.
But
And
I would say
yeah,
dad always preached that too. Like, golf is a sport that can carry into your business, into what you do, all of it.
It's truly a life sport. It truly is. There's multi-million-dollar deals get done on the golf course. There's, and I think in our professions, right, a lot of times that's where we're the most vulnerable. I know that I've had conversations with my best friends after a hard shift or a hard call, and I've looked at Kate and I've said, you know, I got to go out with the boys because we need this because so and so needs to talk. And the best way for us to do that is whether it's in the winter and it's a golf simulator, whether it's in the summer, spring, summer, fall, and we're out on the golf course, that's where those conversations happen. Because we can be vulnerable in that just in general, right? Us as males are not comfortable being vulnerable. But when we're out with our friends, we're having a good time, we're still competing, but we're still able to drop our guard a little bit and talk about the stuff that really, makes us not sleep at night. I think it's important. So,
Absolutely.
so looking at life lessons from golf, and I'm sure we each have stories from, all these lessons. We're going to run through a couple of them. The first one is patience. So learning patience from golf.
We played with a lot of old people at Peace Pipe, and we had to learn a lot of patience.
Absolutely.
I think and it's not only that, it's just patience with your own game, right?
But yeah, no, I was joking. But yeah, patience with your own
But
game
yeah, we did play.
is
Yeah, there were a lot of.
patience with your own game is it's not like we said earlier, it's not an easy game. It's something that you're gonna step up to. You're gonna grab the club first time at Top Golf or wherever, and you're gonna shank one about 4 yards in front of you and be like, "Why am I doing
If you
this?"
even get it off the mat.
Yeah, if you get it off the mat or past the net, and don't fall into the net. But yeah, it's not an easy game to do. Like you're taking a 3-inch club head, hitting a 1.5-inch ball, and you're expecting to hit it 200 to 300 yards. Like you're not kicking a football, you're not shooting a basketball. Like you're trying to hit this itty bitty tiny ball down straight. You have to hit it straight. Like you can't fly that into Jeremy's house like Michael used to.
Cool. The amount of windows. Ooh.
Until they put that another net up.
Still broke
Yeah.
a window.
I think
Michael
patience is
should have
funny
been
because
sponsored.
Go.
Michael should have been sponsored by Home Depot. Window
Anderson.
replacement.
Anderson
by
Windows.
Anderson.
Yeah.
It's funny because Jack and I played on Friday, and watching him play, he's not the most patient individual, as you guys know. He's like whatever that commercial is. It's my money and I need it now, right? Whatever it is, it's I need it now. Yeah. But seeing him on the golf course, he's so patient. Like he'll swing and miss. I'm like, oh, swing and miss, and then he'll hit it. Oh, that wasn't that great of a shot. I'm like, oh, it was a decent one, son. Like you're good. And then you walk up and you tee it up again, swing and miss. It was the most patient I've ever seen him. And like thinking back on it, and that now thinking of it now, talking about this, I can see that he's changing from being that impatient individual sitting in the house, I'm bored, or I want you to get me this, or, why isn't this working, to taking that extra second and being like, oh, okay, maybe I don't need this right now, or I'm not going to get mad at this. I'm going to let this go. So seeing that is super encouraging, and knowing that Dad taught me patience on the golf course, because that's where I learned patience. And then me teaching Jack patience, it's an awesome progression to see.
Well, to piggyback off of that, Sean, I mean, and like I said, I have a unique situation when it comes to golf. I caddy for Aiden more now than I play golf. But it's self-awareness. Not just patience, but you're teaching self-awareness that your attitude directly impacts your ability to play the sport. Whether you're happy, sad, angry, your attitude and your mental state directly impacts your performance on the golf course. So if you're not self-aware of that, and that was one of the hardest things that, I had to teach Aiden coming into competitive golf, but in general, in teaching him the game was you're not going to hit the ball perfect every time, no matter how many times you practice.
Nope.
And you can't get mad at one bad shot. And for Aiden, the life lesson that really drove that home for him was once you take a shot, it's gone. It's done. You can't bring it back. And it's the same carry over to life. And I use those analogies for him when he gets anxious or he gets upset in life. It's okay, you said it. You can't bring it back now. Now let's move on. Now let's do something different to affect the next shot. So, okay, you shanked it into the woods. Now let's be smart and move on and make the next opportunity, the next shot in your life or on the course better. Because you're going to mess up. You're going to make a mistake. Or you're going to duff a shot. You're going to come up short. You have to be able to be self-aware. And for me, that lesson with Dad was self-awareness. And I couldn't tell you how many times he looked at me and said, "Yeah, you're good, but you're not always going to be good. So stop acting like you're going to be good all the time and just go out there and have fun." And that's when I really, it clicked in that, okay, if I just have fun, I play better. And that's when I introduced music into my golf game. At the time it was headphones, but the more I went out there and practiced, the more I practiced to have fun. And that's when my game started coming around. But that's carried right over to life. The phrase that you'll hear from the three of us, because I think all three of us have entered that part of our life, is it is what it is. It is what it is. You're going to hit a bad shot. It is what it is. Move on. You can either choose to have fun with it or you can choose to be pissed off about it. But if you're pissed off, guess what? The next shot probably ain't going to be that good.
Yeah, it's going to be bad too. And that's like the thing with Dad is like when we were learning to play, like we would hit the ball into the rough. He'd be like, kick it out into the fairway or hit it into the sand, kick it out of the sand. Like part of it, like for me, like learning and learning my game was like, I appreciated Dad doing that when we were learning it, but like I knew that I had to be able to play out of those situations too. So like the next lesson is integrity, like having that integrity to play the ball as it lies. Like I, not to toot my own horn, but my sand game is pretty damn good because I was there a lot. Like I was in the sand traps all the time. So I have a decent sand game now. And like playing the Friday night scramble when you're playing with a bunch of old men and the three of us were usually team captains. And
I was a B player.
And like
No,
you would
I
get
got put
these
as an
guys
A
who'd be
player
like,
all the time.
yeah, we got a 2. Like we didn't get a 2, we got a 4. Like, bro, like how did you miss 2 shots? And these guys were like so worried about winning the $20 back that it cost. They weren't having fun. And it's like, I didn't care. I had a blast because I was playing with a bunch of old guys who most of the time were hammered. And the stories that they would tell you, you can't make up. And the quote unquote life lessons they would give you.
I wasn't allowed to win in the scramble. Pat literally paired
you
me
were
up with
too
the
good.
worst people.
Yeah.
Well,
You got-
and it was the best part of the scramble was like you felt like you were part of the club, right?
Right.
Like we were belonged to the
100%.
club, but like we felt like we were one of the guys.
Right.
Because
Especially
you
like
know,
leading the team. Like you were like, yeah, this is
yeah,
this is
like
cleared
I
my
would
schedule.
his ball.
we would be at work or somewhere, and Dad would call you and be like, "Hey, you want to play the scramble?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'm going to call the pro shop and let them know you're in." That's how it was. If you didn't,
we would play, so he bought dinner.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
well, until you worked at the pro shop, and then you had to cut your hours short to play in the scramble.
Well, that was you. You're because you're an idiot and you worked the golf course.
I used to charge.
You know what? At the end of the day, I would clear my schedule to play golf 9 holes with a bunch of old people every Friday. Literally.
We weren't hanging out with friends.
Most people our age, most people our age,
ARP gang,
are going out to the club or to the bar or like pre-gaming. We're at Peace Pipe and we're like, Yep. Oh, shit, I got to play with Harold tonight.
Damn it, Warner! I told you.
Right.
But you know what?
Right.
It was a 3.
Jerry.
It's beer money if we won.
Yeah, right.
After we
But
gave Dad
again-
after we gave Dad his cutback, because Dad would always
Again,
pay.
that's that social aspect, right? Like that was teaching. It was teaching us how important the game was and how important it was to keep up those relationships. You know,
And
Well,
look at how many of those relationships came to the funeral.
all of them.
Right. All of them.
Every
The whole
single
entire club
one of
was
them.
there.
Yeah.
And like
You know?
I credit a lot of the time at the club with how I'm able to communicate between the different generations. Like I can talk to elderly people and older people because of the time that I spent in golf carts with. Like there's days that I spent all Saturday and Sunday with them. We would be playing. I'd be sitting out front playing quote unquote starter, and these guys would come and just shoot the shit with me.
Marty
And-
still asked me for crabs.
I just it was a great time. We made a lot of great relationships.
touch that one.
Maryland crabs.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Not with 10-foot pole. But like a lot of those relationships, like we see those people every once in a while when we go home, and it's just like it's like seeing part of your family.
It's
That's
home.
really what it was.
Like when we had Dad's repast there, and the fact that one, just it was like we were at home. Two, you know, Jeremy comes up and he's like, whatever you guys need, whenever you need it, just call me. If you come up and you want to play, call me. And like we talked about putting a bench up for Dad, he's like, call me. So that relationship is never going to leave. You know, Dad is ingrained in that place because of who he was and what he devoted to it, right? Like being the president of the club for however
Well, he
many
was the president
years.
for what, 10 years?
Something like that.
Something like that? Like long time.
And it's crazy because like he was never the club champion. He was never the
No.
best golfer.
Mm-mm.
But he was always there and he was always making sure that everyone else was having a good time.
He made the club, and that was one of the things that I can say that I watched from working at the club is the turnaround that he brought when he was president to bringing fun back to the game. Like, okay, we're having the member guest, and yeah, it was, you know, hot. There were some members, you know, Iggy, that were super, you know, super like hardcore golfers. Like, I'm going to win this club championship. And Dad made a point to bring it fun. You know, you're going to go out there and okay, you might win, but we're going to make sure it's a blast when you come out for this. Whether you win, lose, or, you know, are just there to watch, you're going to have fun in this.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that
like
was...
one of my favorite pictures is when he brought all those like the luau and all that stuff to the club, like the after hours parties. And one of my favorite pictures I have is it's him playing like whatever the pitching game into like a blow up target, and Riley is there shit like shagging balls for him, and Jake's sitting there in the stroller because he was only probably a year old, not even, watching him chip. And like that's just one of my favorite pictures that I have of him, because like he was in his element. He's there in his brown bass loafers, his boat shoes, with his Hawaiian shirt on and his khaki shorts, and he was just in his element. That's just who he was. Like he was at the club. He would go like he'd play his round, he'd go to the car, kick off his golf shoes and put on his bass loafers, his outside of the house bass boat shoes.
Those were his good boat shoes.
Those were his going out boat shoes. They were also not the clearance ones that were like baby. They were like pale white that he used to wear around the house. Like those are weird. Definitely a clearance item. But that was just him. Like that was him. And he would go into the bar, he'd have only 2 beers, and he would come home.
It's always 2 beers.
Only 2 beers.
Only 2 beers.
Didn't matter how many he had.
We learned later that he only bought 2 beers.
Right. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
He only
2
had
beers.
2 beers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's big family.
So we're talking about fun, right? So Sean, I'm going to throw this to you, this question. Resilience.
Yeah.
When
So
was the first time you learned from dad about resilience when you have a blow up hole?
how about a blow up round? So this story sticks with me more now than it did previously because just maturing and being an adult. So when we were younger, we vacationed to Bermuda a couple times, and I think this was the first cruise we ever went on to Bermuda. Was when we went out and we'd try to make it a point to play golf when we were on vacation, whether we were at a timeshare or on the cruise. We went to Bermuda and Dad's like, we're going to play Port Royal. Port Royal is a pretty prestigious golf course in Bermuda, probably the number one golf course in Bermuda. And I'm like, cool, this is great. We're going to go out there. And I was what, 19? No, I was
Yeah,
younger than
because
that.
No
because
way. If it was the
the
first
trip.
one,
That was the trip that we.
It
I
might have
think
been
you
the
were
second
just
one.
18
It
because
might have
that
been the
was the
second one.
trip
guess
we
is it
played
was the
golf.
second one.
We played golf, came back to the boat, and then me and you got to go to the beach on our own, and you
That's right.
got to order a
So it
beer.
was the second one. It was the second one. So Dad sets us up. We get off the ship. We go play golf, and we start playing. This course is absolutely beautiful. It's on the water. The Atlantic Ocean there, just gorgeous turquoise blue water. And I am having the worst round of my life. Just terrible. And I am angry. That's like the understatement of the year. So I'm hitting balls all over the place. And Michael reminded me that he was probably having one of the best rounds of his life, which probably
Yes,
made me even
yes, I
more
was.
angry, right? But I remember distinctly Dad being like, stop getting mad. Like, look where you are. Look at the views. You may never play this golf course again. Like, stop getting mad. And I remember being on that par 3 overlooking the ocean. Like, it's their signature hole.
That was the one I stuck it like 3 feet from.
Yeah,
the pin.
and I shanked it probably into the ocean. I just couldn't shake it. But now, looking back on it, I'm like, man, I wish I would have enjoyed that round more. I wish I wouldn't have pressed. I wish I wouldn't have taken it so seriously and just went out there and played golf. But resilience-wise, I think just continuing on through and not throwing. I don't think I threw a club that day. Probably not, because Dad would have. He probably would have locked me in the room for the rest of the cruise.
Only happened once.
Um,
With
I've only
Dad
thrown my
present.
club at somebody
Yeah.
as a joke.
yeah, with Dad not present, it might have been a couple times, but yeah, resilience-wise, just continuing on with that round, right? And that's any round that we play now where I'm, not playing well. I play golf with most of the time with Michael and then our two buddies who are sticks. They are very good golfers, and I am not as good as they are. So it's very frustrating for me sometimes. But again, being out there with the boys, that's all I care about. I don't get as angry as I used to anymore. And Michael can attest to that because, we've played a lot of golf in the past couple of years. I don't know that I've blown up a lot just
No.
because I really enjoy the social aspect. That's why I'm there. I'm there to be the fun guy.
And really to kind of touch on that. So Sean's right. Like when we, Sean and I, as we've explained in the past, we still live close to each other on the Eastern Shore, and when we can play, it's usually every couple of weeks one of us sends a message and, hey, you want to play? But he introduced me to on a different level to two of his buddies, and they're excellent golfers. But that social aspect, that friendship blossomed with Sean's friends. They weren't my friends. To outside of golf, at golf, whether it's a golf trip that we're on or just a random round that, now I get a message from them. Hey, we're gonna be at Queenstown Golf Course. Do you want to play? But Sean, those are his friends, and he fostered that through the game. Had it not been for golf, there's no way my phone would go off for them to play with me. So yeah, but no, you haven't had even Pinehurst when you were hungover.
That was a tough round too, boy. That was, and I didn't
Round
get,
we
I
had a
wasn't
walk
angry.
too.
Yeah,
No,
I dressed like Phil
you.
Mickelson in all black. What an idiot.
I will say, if you want to compare that round to Port Royal, at one point, I think we were on what, 14, 13 or 14. We turned around when we took the picture and you said it. You said, look where we are. And you took in the fact that we were playing the U.S. Open course 6 months before the pros were going to play that exact same course. And you were there. Didn't matter how hungover you were. Didn't matter how bad you played. You were truly there to enjoy the experience over the game.
Yeah, yeah. I was very hungover, and I played very poorly. Just so we're clear.
Jay, what about you? Resilience ever pop up
I
in your
mean,
brain?
for me, I think the resilience was different because for me it was not blowing up after a bad hole or a bad round. For me, it was trying to get through the round. I mean, there was a lot of times where with my back problems and my leg and hip problems, where it was like it would get painful and it was just not fun anymore. Like I love the game and I will play the game until I die, but like it got to the point where it was just painful and not fun. And
So,
for me, it was
so,
trying to push through that pain level to get to be able to complete the round.
so to touch on that, I don't know if you remember this, when you wanted to get back into playing because you took a fairly decent break because it was painful for you. Um, one of the things you said to me when you wanted to go back out when I was working at the course was, and I don't know if you remember saying it. Uh, I want to learn to at least play good enough because I want to come out with you, Dad, and Sean. And that was one of the big reasons you wanted to get back into playing when
Yeah,
we
I
were
mean,
younger.
there's like when we were younger, like you guys talk about Port Royal, like I didn't play that. I think I was in a glass bottom kayak with mom somewhere in Bermuda. Like
Yeah,
I didn't
probably.
go out and play those courses. I didn't get to play those courses. So part of me is like just bummed that I missed it, but like I also had that time with mom, which was great. But um it's like I would have loved to have those memories of those courses with dad, but like when I look back at it, like I'm not upset that I didn't have them because like dad and I had more time later in life on the course. Like dad and I got to play in the PBA every year. We played in the PBA together, and like that's something I love doing with him. Like it was me and him, and like there's years that you guys couldn't come up that it was just me and him, or it was the four of us. Um, like that was time that I really cherished with him. Um, and like those were the times that I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, like you guys have Port Royal, but I have like the PBA. Where we're shotgunning Coors Lights at 8 a.m. after we're doing mimosas or Bloody Marys, like crushing a donut and then going out to number 9 and at the knoll and trying to hit a golf ball and like yelling at the other guys obscenities across the course because that's just how it was. I think that that's one of like my big things with dad and golf is those times, like the fun and like I said, like dad and I was never going to be a professional golfer. I was decent, like never really wanted to play professionally. But the times that I had with him, it was like we were goofing off. Like one of my favorite memories is like we played the member guest together and it was pouring rain. It was the worst possible conditions you could play at Peace Pipe ever. Because that the course flooded and like we were probably like 30 minutes away from a flash flood and taking out the entire golf course. But like had a blast because it was pouring rain. We didn't care. So we're more worried about keeping the beers cold.
Mm-hmm.
So my resilience with Dad, and you're gonna laugh at this one, is the resilience to hold your bowels until you can make it to the halfway house.
Mm,
I think we've all had that situation.
yes.
So Dad, it was inevitable if we were at a golf outing and there was a Bloody Mary, breakfast sandwich or a donut, and a coffee, by hole 6, he was like, we gotta pick this up.
That's giving him
we
some
gotta pick this.
time.
We
That's a
gotta pick this
6 hole.
up.
The 6 hole's a lot. It's
That's
usually
good. It's
3.
2 foot
I was
putt.
gonna
Pick it
say,
up.
like,
We're good.
3
That's good.
The third hole, he was usually looking for a porta potty.
Man, I got a good
Yeah,
story about that.
Yeah. So,
Got a really good story about
that's,
that
I
when we're
mean,
done.
that's my takeaway with the Brazilians is like, back to that mind over body. Like he truly, there was, and he taught you, always keep an extra pair of socks and underwear in your.
He also kept a roll of toilet paper in his
Yeah,
golf bag.
roll shit tickets in there. Yeah, no, I have a similar story, but it was not Dad, it was me. From when we went to the Outer Banks. Yeah, so we went to we would go to the Outer Banks. Once we were in college, Dad allowed us to go on a golf trip with him to the Outer
Abs.
Banks. It was us. It was just us. Started with me and him, then me and Jay and him, then
Stop
me and Mike and
knocking.
him. And it was
I'll be out in a minute.
some of the most cherished memories that I have with him is going to the Outer Banks. So it's the first year that we're there. Me and him, we went to the grocery store, 2 grown adults, and what did we buy? $100 worth of just junk. Chips. Oh, these are 2 for 1. We got to buy 2 bags. Oh, cookies, 2 for 1. We got to buy 2 bags. We didn't get any like real food, just a bunch of junk. So we go over and we play a course called The Point, which is just on the other side of the bridge. And we play the front 9, and then there's this massive thunderstorm that comes through. And he's like, let's get some lunch. I'm like, all right, cool. So I forget what he had. I had a Carolina barbecue pulled pork sandwich.
That's a bad move.
You're not lying. Trust me, I was there.
This is a bad
So
move
we get
with this
out-
Morehouse stomach.
So this storm passes, and we get out on number 10, and we're playing 10, and it's rumbling, and it's not the storm this time. So we get on the 11 tee, and I look at him, and I'm like, I'm taking the cart. I'll be back. So I had to run back to the clubhouse and take care of some business. But I was like, for once, Dad, it wasn't you. It was me. I was the guy. So don't eat Carolina pulled pork during a rain delay at the Point. I promise. It's not going to end well for you.
Doesn't end well.
No.
So going back to, some lessons, the humility side of it, Jay, you touched on it. The number one thing that pissed the head off in the golf course was etiquette. And it wasn't golf etiquette, it was manners. People throwing clubs, cursing loud enough so the other groups could hear, holding groups up, the humility of just being a decent human being and being humble to the situation you're in and around you. That's what I remember most about that with Dad.
Yeah, I mean, and Dad was big about like dress code. Like no matter
Mhm.
what, like Peace Pipe was not like your normal golf course where you had to have khakis on, you had to have a polo on, you had to have like nice shoes on. Like there was dudes who'd show up in like cut off jeans. Like we're talking jorts, full on. Like these dudes wore jorts, and like they're 1982 Nikes that they mow the lawn in on Saturdays. Like, but no matter what, when we went to the course, we had to have a polo and khaki shorts or khakis on. And that's just what it was. Like, that was what you wore. Like, you didn't wear your hat backwards when you played. You wore your hat forwards. Like, you got to the 9th hole. You finish the 9th hole, you take your hat off, you shake hands with everybody you played with. Like, that's just the etiquette that, like, he taught us. And, like, that is not just a golf lesson, it's a life lesson. You have to show professionalism and the etiquette and the decency across the board of being a human.
And I think also, like, Dad, I'm not going to say he didn't care how he played, because he always, he was a little bit competitive. He wanted to play well, but he was more worried about you having a great shot than him having a great shot. Like, we would celebrate our great shots more than he would celebrate his own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a couple times where, one of the when we went to Pinehurst for the first time, we were playing the first day. It was hot. It was hotter than devil's whatever.
Backbone.
And I'm in the pine straw and I hit, nobody's watching. And all of a sudden I start screaming and they're like, what? I'm like, I hold out. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, hold out. And he was so happy. Like, he was ecstatic for me more than I was ecstatic for myself. And it just showed kind of the person that he was, that he, again, as we've talked about for, 4 episodes, he cared about everyone else before himself. He was the most selfless individual that I have ever known in life. And, I think that we, all 3 of us, carry that on as well. We are very much put everyone before us. And that's, again, in that mental health aspect where sometimes that takes a toll on you. Sometimes you have to prioritize yourself. But humility wise, like, he was the most humble and most others centric person that I would ever come across.
Well, and that directly impacts the relationship of the people that you are playing golf with. So when you can be in the cart with somebody and they're having a tough time or they're having a bad round and you might not be the best friends with them, you know, having that ability to talk to them and, kind of get their mind off of their bad round so that, yeah, you're worried about yourself on the golf course, but at the same time, you're worried about your car partner. You want to you want to see that they're having a good time, because if they're not having a good time, you're not having a good time. So you're truly encompassing in one sport and one round in 4 hours, focusing on yourself, being a little bit selfish at times, and at the same time being selfless and worrying about your car partner or your playing partners and seeing them succeed as well.
And moving into like this last lesson, presence, right? Being present. I think that's essentially what we've talked about for almost the entire episode, right? Like, being present on the golf course. We're not on our phones when we play golf. I'm still not on my phone when I play golf. My phone sits in the cart and I could care less about it. If I'm playing, even if I'm working, right? My phone stays in the cart. I'll check it maybe once or twice. But just being present and being in the moment was something that he definitely taught us, and that I'm trying to instill in my kids now is put the phone down. Don't worry about taking pictures. Don't worry about taking Snapchats. Nobody needs to know any of this stuff. Just be here and enjoy the moment. Take mental pictures, make memories, because you're never going to be at this place at the same time ever again.
Absolutely. And, you tie that presence into, and this is an off the cuff question. Um, and I'm going to throw it out to you guys, carrying into the grief side of things, right? I remember my last round of golf with dad. Did I know at that time it was going to be my last round of golf with dad? Absolutely not. But having those lessons that dad taught about being present where you are at that moment made that round of golf memorable. Because do I want that round of golf to be, I was pissed off because I hit a bad shot? No. I wanted that round of golf to have memory, to truly have a memory of that last round of golf I had with dad. So, I mean, how about you guys? Do you guys remember that last round?
Well, my last loop around Peace Pipe was with him and Jake. So my last Peace Pipe loop was probably 3 years before he died. Um, right before he had the first real back issues, Jake went out with us and we did a loop around Peace Pipe, did 9. Um, and then I think my last round with him was a PBA.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the PBA is like it describes Dad to a T.
That couldn't have been a
Like-
better last round to have with him.
The PBA is a golf tournament that the police department has every year as a fundraiser. We've been playing in it since we were in college, in high school or whatever, with Dad. And it's something that I look forward to every year. I still look forward to it every year. Getting up to see the people that we grew up with, all the guys that are the cops around town. But Dad was like the local celebrity. Like he would pull up and like, "Oh, Mr. Morehouse. Oh, Coach, what's going on? How are you? How you been?" And it was just story after story about how he impacted somebody's life on a certain day. And he was a local celebrity. Like we've said before, like going out to dinner with him was a 4-hour slice of pizza. But I think that I was lucky enough for that to be my final round with him, and like playing that course. Like I love the Knoll. It'll always have a little special place in my heart. It's not the hardest course, it's not the fun, like not the craziest course, but like there's just that outing alone is just a real special memory I have with him.
Yeah, I think my last round with him was down here. It might have been I can't remember, but I can tell you that grief-wise, I played the best round of golf that I've ever played in my life this year. My first round out, I broke 80 for the first time, and the hardest thing was not being able to pick up the phone and call him.
Mm-hmm.
I was overjoyed with the way that I played, but at the same time, I was more upset that I couldn't share that with him. And I know he was there, right? Like he was there. He knew that I was, that I shot 78. And Michael, the big fella, sinks a 45-footer to tie me on 18 at Hogsneck.
That was Dad.
Yeah, talk about humility.
Mm-hmm.
First time I would have ever beat him. No, not the first time, but I haven't beat him in a very long time. But that was, I think, the hardest thing that I've had since he's died on the golf course was having that round and not being able to call him, because he would have been more proud than I was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I mean, just talking about, being present, and I always revert back to Pinehurst, and the time that we went to Pinehurst, him and I, and just what an amazing experience. We don't have a lot of pictures, because we lived in the moment, and it was awesome. It really just a special, and it will always have that special place in my heart, because that was the last golf trip that we ever went on.
Well, it's like even all the Outer Banks trips that we went on. We don't have pictures from those.
No.
Like we have a picture probably on the deck of every year.
I have a picture of a beer sitting on the deck saying I'm in OBX.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Always
just
a
it.
land
Like,
shark.
with him, it wasn't about like the memories or the pictures. It was about like just being in the moment and like being there together, the 3 or 4 of us, whoever was down there.
Yep. Yeah, that was, and I mean, and I think in that grief, it teaches us to press forward. It teaches us to bring those moments and create those moments with our kids and our friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you, so many times I see when people are grieving, I don't want to do this because this reminds me of this person. Dad dying, all it did was, because of the level of life lessons and the amount of life lessons he taught us on the course or with the game, whether it was playing the course, and we can tell you that it's not just playing with our dad, it was going to golf tournaments, the Cadillac, or volunteering at tournaments, or just attending as a spectator. We encompass so much around the game that for us, I know at least for me, it turned up the game for me. It brought me a way to connect with him even post-death, because I know no matter what round I'm out, No matter what you believe, I believe that they stay with you. They stay with you. And no matter where I am, whether Aiden's playing, I'm playing, Aiden and I are playing, that'll be us this weekend for our birthday, our birthday round. Um, I know that dad, is with you no matter what course you're on. Um, so that truly helped his lessons throughout the years, truly helped us, you know, encompass this game as a way to have his memory live on, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a week every year that we are devoted to golf because of
Yes.
him, because of
Tattooed on our arms
that dingy motel in outside of Augusta, Georgia.
with a cockroach
I don't know,
or
whatever
two.
was in there, man. And then the second time we went with him and I driving in a Volkswagen Beetle across the state of Georgia from Atlanta to Augusta. And then I'll never forget pulling out of Augusta National down Berkman's Road, seeing another two guys in a Volkswagen Beetle, and dad rolling down the window, looking over and be like, "Oh yeah, you got one too. Yeah, cool." I'm like, Jesus, Dad, you just tone it down a little bit. I want to be in this Beetle. Or forgetting the tickets that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Driving an
Oh,
hour,
yeah.
forgetting the tickets, and then having to drive back to the hotel. But the Masters is something that that will always bring him to us and always bring us together. It's just, and whether we knew about the Masters, but it never really clicked until we went with him. And now we wear it forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So I think the biggest lessons from this, and if you're not a golfer, this isn't just about golf. If you play any sport or your parents or your loved ones are in anything, if they are huge football fans or huge basketball fans or huge baseball fans, spend that time with them watching or going to games or, doing whatever it is that they love. Take that time and spend it with them, because that's when you're going to learn so much just about them, about their character, about how they love things, about life lessons, and they're going to want to teach you this stuff, and it's going to be subtle. It's not going to be, they're not going to come out and be like, "This is a life lesson for you, son. I'm going to teach you about, patience and resilience in the batter's box." It's going to be, did you see how this guy's at bat? Did you see how he took all those pitches? Did you see how, he was waiting for the pitch that he wanted? It's subtle, but at the same time, you'll look back on it and you'll be like, man, he really was teaching me lessons at this point, and I didn't even know it until 15 years later.
Yeah. And again, that goes back to presence, being present in the moment, the ballpark, the golf course, soccer field, whatever it is, being present in the moment and enjoying what you're there to see and what you're there to experience. And remember, put in your brain the emotions you feel, the sense, the sounds, all of it. I mean, I'll never feel grass as good as it felt at Augusta, or at Augusta.
Yeah.
You know?
Gus's grass is unbelievable.
Or eat a peach ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
Same as Augusta.
But
Pimento
again, just being
cheese.
present, and that's the biggest thing that I want to kind of push out with this whole episode that we have here is the take home for me to really push out to you guys and girls is presence, being present in the moment. Turn the phone off, stay off of social media for whatever time you have with whoever that loved one is, whether it's a kid, a parent, a friend, close friend. Um, but having that presence in that moment is important.
Cool. So finishing up, you guys have any final thoughts? Anything? I think I just went through mine. Mike, you went through yours. Jay, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah. Just the biggest part of, like we've said, this episode is not, I don't want to say like the lessons, but it's just being there. Like, be there with that person listen to what they have to say. Like, you may not think it's a big deal at that moment. Like, how many grounds of golf did we play with Dad? How many Friday night scrambles did we play with Dad? Like, how many Saturdays did we go out and just shoot 9? Um, but it's just being in that moment with them that creates those memories and those lessons that you're gonna take on forever. Like, I'm teaching my kids those things now. Like, my kids weren't interested in golf until Dad died, and now they all want to play golf. Like, I can't take them all out at one time because I only have one junior set, but like they all are interested in playing golf because of Dad. So it's not that the golf course is the lesson here. It's the spending time absorbing the knowledge that these people have to give you and taking the time to like really incorporate it in life. Like I incorporate, like, Dad was the mayor. Everyone knew him. Everyone was his pal. Um, and I attribute a large part of like who I am to that. Like, I learned that from Dad. I wave at everybody. I don't
That's
care who you are.
Liv asked me that yesterday. She goes, "Why do you wave at everyone?" I said,
I
"Because
wave at
want them to
everybody.
know. I want them to know that I see them."
Yeah. Dad's
Right.
greatest line.
Yep.
And like Dad would always say, "Have a great day." to whoever you're in an elevator, have a great day. Simple stuff like that is just, it can go a long way.
Absolutely.
All right. So next week, this was a little heavier. This episode, it was fun, but it was a little heavier. So next week we're going to go a little bit lighter. We're going to talk about our experiences on family vacations.
Sunburn Central right now, boys.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about some trips that we took. We're gonna talk about some things that we learned, like use sunscreen. And keep it a little lighter with some anecdotal stuff.
Ode to the dads at the beach.
Yeah. Somebody told us to bring back Real American Heroes. We salute you. So we might have to do that. Might have to bring back the We Salute You segment every
salute
week.
you, sunscreen man.
We salute you, the seller of sunscreen.
Yes.
That's this week. Yeah. All right. So if you are not following us on the socials, please go find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook, click that follow button, click that subscribe button on Spotify or whatever platform you are listening to us on. Leave a comment, leave a like. If you're so inclined, leave a review, please. We want to hear from you. We want to hear how this is going because, again, if it sucks, we need to know so we can change it. So yeah, like, subscribe, check out the merch shop. We got some stuff in there if you want to represent the brand, some Love You Pal hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. We're going to try to get some stickers up in there for everybody. And yeah, closing thoughts. Anything else?
Hit it straight, boys.
Hit it straight.
That's it.
All right. Well, that's the end. Hit him straight. And as always, love you, pal.
Love you, pal.
Love you, pal.